Should I sell my house in 2024? I've had the question posed a lot. I'm going to answer it from the perspective of somebody who is involved in a lot of real estate transactions. I see a lot of things in real estate on a daily basis as a mortgage broker who's working with hundreds, if not thousands of clients every single year, talking to real estate agents on a daily basis. I'll give you my input on things you probably want to consider if you're thinking about selling your house in 2024. All right, Matt Gouget, Matt the Mortgage Guy, residential mortgage broker, licensed in 48 states, greatmortgagebroker.com. That's where you go if you want to connect me and my team. Greatmortgagebroker.com. See you there. Do you sell your house in 2024? I think it's a fair question. I think it's something that a lot of people are considering. And before I get into all the great reasons why you might want to consider selling your house in 2024, let me first have you pose this question to yourself. Where are you going to go, right? Are you somebody who's selling a house and is going to become a buyer? Because if you're going to become a buyer, things that you want to think about in 2024 are most parts of the country have limited inventory. It's going to be a competitive real estate market in most places. Not all places. Real estate can be local and it could vary from place to place. And maybe you're buying at a price point that's not as competitive as an entry-level price point. But whatever the case, if you're thinking about selling, I want to show you a chart from my buddy Ryan Lundquist to put into perspective what we're dealing with on the real estate side. This is Sacramento, Placer, Yolo, and El Dorado County. Consider it Sacramento and surrounding. But a lot of places have similar trend going on. There is very little new listings. And this puts it into perspective when you compare it to prior years. So without further ado, a chart from my buddy Ryan Lundquist, SacramentoAppraisalblog.com. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. So 2013 through 2023, the last decade of new listings in Sacramento, Placer, Yolo, and El Dorado counties. It's broken down by month. That's what all the different colors represent. And if you look down below, in 2013, we had over 35,000 new listings for the whole year. Then we had even more in 14, more than that in 15. This is probably in the 37 or 38,000 range. You get up to 2018, and there might have been close to 40,000 new listings. And then we started to go back the other way. In 21 and 22, when a ton of real estate was being transacted, we were going down and there was less new listings for sale. This is about 30,000. When you look at 2022, it felt like there was relatively tight supply. That's why even though rates saw a dramatic increase in 2022, the market, for all intents and purposes, still saw home price appreciation. At the very worst, it was flat, right? And that's because there was limited inventory. Then in 2023, we're down. That's got to be just rough eyeball, drywall type math. 22,500, maybe 23,000 new listings. So there's very little new listings coming to the market. What does that mean for you as a seller? Anything that has limited supply is going to have upward pressure on price. We've said this time and time again. I know it's not popular. It doesn't get a lot of clicks. You can sell many more newspapers, many more online ads. And trust me, you can get many more YouTube views if you talk about the sky falling and real estate crashing. Unfortunately, for all those doomers, they continue to say it and it continues to not happen. And the inventory shortage is one of the main reasons why. If you're going to sell your house in 2024, especially if you're selling it at, near, or below the median home price for your area, not only is it going to sell fast, it's going to sell at a premium. I say this as somebody who works with a lot of buyers. I just talked to somebody in Minnesota, and their offer was one of 18 on a duplex that was priced competitively. I just talked to somebody in Sacramento who thought that, this house wasn't the fanciest or the nicest, and it wasn't even priced that competitive. It still got 6 offers. I'm talking to people across the country, and if it's this competitive in January, before buyers really come out of hibernation and start coming back to the market, imagine what you're going to see in March, April, and May when home buying season really gets into full swing. And so as a seller, I don't know if this is something that will repeat itself in 2025 or 2026, but I think if you're in a position where it's your primary home, or maybe it's an investment property, and you're thinking about selling it sometime in the next few years, I personally think it would be a pretty good idea to list it in February or March of 2024. Now, selfishly, I want to see more listings because I want buyers to have more to choose from. And I know this week alone, we saw a 9.9% increase week over week with mortgage applications. Buyers are back. Buyers with rates from the 8% range to 6.6 and continuing to come down will come back to the market. If rates continue to trend downwards, if the Fed does what we think they're going to do and they start cutting the Fed funds rate in March or April, we're going to see more and more buyers come to the table. More and more buyers means more competition. With the listing shortage that we see and we continue to see, it's going to be a great time to sell your home in 2024. I believe it wholeheartedly. I believe it much more for people who are at or below the median. If you're selling a luxury home and you're watching this and you need to get $3.5 million for your home, well, that buyer pool is not that great. I can't promise you anything there. But at or near the median, homes are going to fly off the shelf in 2024. They're going to sell at a premium. I don't know what 2025 and 26 brings. I'll be the first to admit I don't have a crystal ball. But selling your home in 2024, you are going to make out pretty well. So get it listed. Call a local agent. If you want to connect with an agent anywhere in the country, you can go to homeandmoney.com/Matt. If you're looking for an agent in California, I know a ton of great ones. Based on the area you're trying to sell, you want an agent who knows that area, an agent who's able to go above and beyond just putting a sign in the yard and putting it on the MLS. So contact me and my team. Be more than happy to help connect you with a great agent. GreatMortgageBroker.com. You can fill out that form and just tell us you're looking for an agent. Email me, matt@mtmg.com if you'd like. Either way, we're happy to help. Again, GreatMortgageBroker.com if you want to get yourself pre-approved and go out there and buy something. Hopefully this video was helpful. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, we gonna see.